So this is enablers part 2, because the first one cut off. And we were talking about part 6, which was strong care of money or evil over morals. And I always felt that, whenever I told my mom about my dad, there was never a desire to change anything. I was told multiple times, like, oh, he pays the bills, so he has to stay here. Or, well, he's your father, he loves you. Nothing really was done. There was never really a conversation to do the right thing, even when it was morally wrong, or if money was involved, it didn't really matter um, what was right or wrong in either of them. So, and then they help keep you mentally low. So, for example, I wasn't allowed to go in the kitchen and just say there's Doritos and I want the Doritos. I can't say, hey, I want those Doritos. I have to be like, can I have this? Can I have that? And if I did have that, I had to share it. I can't just have a bowl of cereal or like some other thing without asking, or just taking it, because a lot of times I had to go in the middle of the night and just steal food and and um and eat. I remember one time I was literally starving because I was really little, and at that time my dad wouldn't let me eat unless I allowed him to abuse me, and even if he did, he still wouldn't let me eat sometimes. So I remember one time I just went in the, I think there was somebody oaks in the fridge, and I just snuck and I ate like sauerkraut because I was so hungry. And when you're stealing food and you have to beg for someone to feed you, or when you do eat at the kitchen table and everyone's um, mooing at you, or they're asking, ridiculous questions about why you eat like that, why you look like that, or keeping you mentally low, um, just and just like the constant criticism and the constant nitpicking about your behavior when you're just being a person, and then causing you to feel bad about being a person, that all keeps you very sad, and it messes with your self-worth and your desire to be there. So, yeah, and then just being a person. And then 8, try to keep you in a cycle. So, yeah, a lot of times when I did have a friendship or relationship, friend, platonic or not, when I had them, if the person, looking back from like those past things, um, when I had a person that was very unhealthy for me to be around, and that continued the cycle that my parents were um, putting within me, those people my parents allowed me to be friends with. But anybody that could have supported me or allowed me to see what they were doing and seeing that it was unhealthy, they pushed me away from them, and they tried to isolate me from anything that would have like helped me grow. Like, I wanted to be in ministry. I wanted to praise dance. I was only allowed to praise dance once. I wanted to be in Girl Scouts. Both of my siblings were allowed to go in Girl Scouts. I wasn't allowed. I never got a reason why. I was told that I could study for choir. I did multiple times at multiple churches, and I never was allowed to sing. And the day of when I was supposed to sing, I was pulled out. So anything that could have helped me, I was taken out of. And a lot of stuff that actually I'm doing now and trying to do now is stuff that they took me out of. And then 9, they literally are so good at seeming innocent. Like, the personality shifts the personality that my parents were in person, as well as enablers, they are so polar opposite. Like, you would think it's two different people because they're so good at looking like they're the greatest people ever. My mom used to teach children's church. She used to smile. She used to dance. She would make jokes. And she would be so engaging with the kids. She would make bookmarks with them. She would teach them she would teach them Bible songs and like everything. I can't even tell you when my mom like at the house ever smiled. Like a genuine smile. But at church, she was great. She was so good at seeming innocent and kind and sweet. Like, people just thought like my mom was just like so awesome, and I never got any of that. But yeah, she would honestly tell me stories too that would imply to you that she was a innocent person, and that like it's like they have an obsession with purity too. I don't know why, but they do. Um, it's like they want to seem like the stereotypical like I hate to say it, but like the stereotypical version in like a movie from like the 80s. Like that's their ideal goal image, and it's wrong. Cuz the times when I remember the most when my parents laughed and when my mom laughed was when they were watching comedy specials with like the raunchiest jokes. Like, my parents, I would try to make them laugh because I was like, if people that don't like you laugh, then you know you're funny. So I was trying to make them laugh, and I remember if I sent them a joke that was like directly funny, like a smart, intelligent joke, like that's like, ha, that's funny, they wouldn't laugh at it. But if I sent them a joke that maybe had some curse words and it was maybe a little bit sexual, they would laugh at it. And then when I got older, I was like, how how did I think these people were living righteously? Because the stuff that they laugh at, the stuff that they watch are not like promoting a life of Christ. So, and then 10, they love to argue, they love to score, and they love energy draining. They love arguing so much. Like, they're personally always offended, professionally offended. Like, I remember literally somebody, I was walking somewhere, uh, I was walking into church, right? She said, "Hey, are you a mother?" Because it was Mother's Day. And I was like, "No." And then her immediate reaction was, "I don't like the way you said no." And I'm like, okay. Like, the thing I remember most is that everything offended my parents. You know, I walk in the room a certain way. I'm wearing a sweater. I'm wearing a jacket. Um, I'm I'm breathing. The way I laugh, like, it bothered them. And they would just be like, "Why you laugh like that? Why you wearing a sweater?" And I'm like, "I'm cold." um, and then they love Discord. There's always something wrong. Like, literally always. There was rare moments when I wasn't doing something that annoyed them. And they love energy draining. When Oh yes, and they love creating situations where you're the bad person. Like, I remember my mom would antagonize me so much, and I would eventually go off on her. And I'm not a person that goes off on people. Even back then, I would get mad, and it would be an unhealthy mad. But like, it would take me a while to get angry to that degree. And I remember one time I came from band practice and I was waiting for her to pick me up, and she was like, "Hey, I'll meet you in the back of the school." I said, "Okay." I walked to the back of the school with an alto saxophone, so you know it was heavy, and I was severely underweight. I was skinny. I don't know if I was underweight, but I definitely was not eating. I was like literally starving myself, so I was tired and I was unwell. And she was like, I came to the back. I said, "Hey, mom, I don't see you. Where you at?" She said, "Oh, I'm in the front." I was like, "Oh my gosh, if I have to walk all the way back there, I'm gonna have a tantrum." And I went to the front, she in the back. I went to the back, she in the front. And then it got to the point where I just went off on her. I was like, "How dare you?" And I don't curse people out, but I guess it was just one of those days where I literally was cursing so much and I was so mad. And my aunt, I didn't know my aunt was with her. And when I got in the car, my mom had like this look of joy of like, "I got you. And now everybody's gonna know how awful you are." And I was like, "Man, this is evil." Because I knew she did it. And then she took my saxophone away and then let my aunt have it. And well, like for like a week or something, like a couple days. And I was like banned from my own instrument from her creating a scenario. But yeah, it's like they love to drain your energy. They don't give you space. They do stuff to make you, to cause you to be livid and try to manipulate the situation to so that you match their energy. And then if you do, then they're like, "I knew you were awful." And you're like, "I'm not awful. I'm just